how are you doing? Have you been following the story?
Yes, actually, I mean, I was working today when you spoke about it. Um, it's a very sad one. I also have been, yeah, I'm not catching you. No, you're not. No, you're not there. Yeah, so I've been also, I know during your chat, your live chat, I was also typing, I'm like begging people not to share, but because people are saying, hey, where's the video? I would like to see.
Stop sharing it. Stop
Yes,
sharing.
stop sharing it, guys.
Mhm.
These are minors.
You can get into trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point. If you live in a country where everything works, you can get into trouble for sharing those videos. These well, these guys are minors. I haven't seen the video. I don't want to see the video. Um, it's just a very tricky one.
Um,
You know.
because I didn't want to see it, but somebody sent it to my WhatsApp, so I clicked on it and I was stuck with it. And I believe it's good I saw it, because if I didn't see it, I'll have an unrealistic perspective. Because the moment I saw the video, it altered the complexion of the perspective I had completely. Because the video removed the idea that she could have been forced or coerced. The whole, they gave her substance that when, if you saw it, you would realize that, you know, that narrative,
Wasn't true.
in my humble opinion, wasn't. Now, the video is trending on Twitter. Malu girl, I don't want to say directly if you, because of the whole plenty restrictions we have even on social media. Malu girl is trending. Chrisland is trending. And if you are unfortunate enough to click on any of those hashtags, you will see the video there. So I don't know how Twitter also is so lax that that video can be on Twitter. I don't know why. You know? Now, I think before I was blaming the school more. But now, with the school saying they carried 76 children and only 5, I don't know how true it is. Everybody will have something to say to defend themselves. But if the school says they carried 76 children and 71 behaved themselves, then I begin to worry about the kind of homes those children that did not behave themselves came from.
So that it frees though.
Yes.
You carried 73 children. You are supposed to care. You are supposed to care for every one of those children because they are on your care.
They said that the boys were kept on the 11th floor and the girls on the 4th floor.
And who was watching to see that?
There was definitely a lapse. How did she slip? How did one student slip?
Yeah. Who was watching? That means nobody was there. Or maybe someone.
What tricky children are. Let me play devil's advocate here. You know how tricky children are. Your parents are home. Your children will still sneak out. Even under your watch. Let alone the watch of teachers. Children get up to no good, especially at that age when they're very inquisitive. Mm-hmm. You know? So, yes, there was nobody watching, but in school, even when we were in school those days, we used to jump fence and go out of school. So will you not say school was totally useless? No, people, they sneak out.
Yeah, so in a case where you've taken children out of the country, this happened in Dubai, correct? If I'm correct.
Yes.
What if that girl snuck out and actually went out of that
Now,
space.
now. That's why you also need to. I wouldn't say you should. I wouldn't advise you to watch the video, but it's also good. If you saw the expertise that girl showed, she did not learn it that night. That
Yeah,
girl, in my humble opinion, needs deep counseling.
true.
The things that girl did in that video, to be honest, I think I learned them in marriage.
So true. Daddy Freeze, listen, everyone shares in this whole blame, starting from the
Now, the
girls'
truth is,
parents.
okay, the school did not protect her enough, according to what you're saying, from being in the same place with the guys. But what
Mm-hmm.
she did with the guys, you can't blame the school for teaching her that.
No, not at all. I'm not blaming the school for that. Everyone should share. That girl, of course, there's a problem, right? I haven't seen the video, right? And I don't want to see the video. But from what I'm reading, people are saying whatever she did, she looked experienced, maybe she's been doing it. Her parents, they need to go back and see where they got it wrong with that
Now,
girl.
I even know, hey, Samaria, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Good evening,
Oh,
all.
it's even good to advise to watch it, because you need to see. If you don't see it, you'll not know what you're talking about until you see it. You
That
must
is
Daddy,
when
that
you
is
realize
mine.
the level of
What
that.
I'm hearing
Then
alone is
I did
it's
go and look
enough.
at someone, and I blasted the guy for sending me. But in retrospect, and they said there's another part too. I didn't see that part. So the part, the one that was because it just popped up on my WhatsApp. I'm like, I was talking about it and people were sharing it on my WhatsApp. So the first person who came in, the whole video is about 10 seconds. So I deleted it from my WhatsApp, blocked the guy for sending me. But you see, thinking about it in retrospect, it gave me the perspective of the video. I now have a proper insight into the video. Hi, Samaria, and hi, Ada Blessing. Ada Blessing is with us now. Guys, please do not use
Good morning,
words
everyone.
sanctioned by Facebook, YouTube, and even Instagram. So it's the R word or the S word. You know what I'm talking about. Please, guys, don't get carried away. And then, because right now they are looking for whose page to drag, these Facebook people, especially with something that concerns someone that. Now, let me ask you. Samaria came before Ada. Ada, please hold on. Let Samaria share her opinion, and then I'll bring you on. Samaria, what do you think?
First of all, thanks. I have a question to ask. The question, I know it doesn't require an answer, but the question is, why must it be that particular child, that particular female? Because if you ask me, she's not the only female, the only girl that went on that trip. Why must it be her in particular? And I had asked earlier, why would the school put them to mix the genders together? Not until I
No,
heard you say they were
mix. According to the report, the
Mhm.
boys stayed on 11th floor and the girls stayed on 4th floor.
Okay, and the same school claimed they were playing a truth and dare game. So
When
where were the
now
rest of the girls when they were playing the truth and the dare game?
our children are, I'm not absolving the school, but a child can sneak. You know how children, you know how you people are now. You know how we all were when we were that age. Fine, we did not do this kind of thing, but we all snuck out, we all beat curfews, we all did all those things.
They claimed, I've been seeing 10 years on the net, which I doubt.
It's not. I think it's more like 13.
Okay.
I'm not, but
This is
because
bad
that level,
parenting.
anything between 12 and 14 years.
Yes, and judging from what her mom said, she said she didn't confide in her at first. She didn't say anything until she started, forcing her, trying to, and then she now confessed that she was threatened by the school authorities not to disclose the incident to the mother. So why would, if it were true, the way they portrayed it to the public. Like we all
Did you
said,
see?
I've seen the video. I saw the two of them.
Oh, okay.
I saw the two videos.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But the mother should please
She
keep
would
quiet.
exactly. She needs to withdraw that.
Should please keep, especially with a narrative like the child did not tell you.
Exactly. She should
There are
withdraw
many
it.
things that child did not tell you.
She wouldn't tell
That
her.
kind of experience, how does your child have it?
Expect exactly my thing. So you
From
see,
how I be wrong, but how is your child so experienced and you're expecting them? Listen, first of all, you need to know that you don't know your child.
exactly.
That woman does not know. If you are waiting for that child with that level of experience to come and tell you what happened, then you are dealing with a sole incident. Meanwhile, this is a problem. That child, at
And
least the guy, listen, all of them in that room have issues.
If you ask me,
Girl, both have issues. The girl more because she was the one in control from the little we saw. The guy basically
have been completely like that. She was so comfortable, there was no atom of shame. And if you ask me my opinion, it's not a first exposure. It's not a first in the midst of
what is exposure? Do you know what it is like when you lose it? Didn't it pain any of you? All of you here, at least I know you've all lost it. Neka has a child. Samaria, I don't know if you have children.
That's I don't have children, I have a child.
You have a child. Ada
Yeah.
don't have children, but I know that that place is not intact.
No, but what I'm trying to say.
Wait, everybody keep quiet. Everybody keep quiet. One by one, I want to ask you. The day you lost your own Neka, was it painful?
Oh, of course it was.
How painful was it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, that means what I know was that it was very painful and it took like a long time for me to get there, right? Yeah.
Samara, over to you.
It's painful.
It was painful.
It's still painful, continuous sense.
Okay. Ada, over to you, my sister.
Daddy, it was painful.
Now, on the first day that you lost it, could you have done what that girl did?
Hell no.
Never.
So that it frees. Like people are saying I shouldn't talk because I haven't seen the video. I don't need to see the video from what people are saying, right?
The fact no clothing at all. The fact that there was no clothing.
You know Malu.
That's what I'm saying.
You know Malu.
If you can
Neka, do you know what Malu?
Wearing. Comfort of everything you wear.
You know what is Malu? Malu that you eat?
No, what's Malu?
Beef. Where you get your beef from? Where do you get your
cow.
Beef? Yeah, don't say the word. Then at the end of the day, what do you call somebody that is female, that is young? Join the two words together, and that's what was happening in that thing.
I don't know.
That level, I said it in my earlier video. I lost mine when I was about 17, close to 18, but not yet 18. And me and my then girlfriend, we fumbled around for like 2 months before we didn't know where to put it. We just fumbled around. We literally didn't know what to do. Before we finally figured it out, it took us like 2 months. Today we meet, we try. We try again. Do you understand? That is a level of professionalism you are not supposed to attain unless maybe in late university or early marriage.
I'm about to drop something that may sound like a bombshell. But if you ask me my opinion, I would tell you that within that school, there's somebody within that school messing with that girl.
Molesting, right?
Let's not absolve the home completely, because your child goes to school and comes home. Don't you notice any changes?
The reason why I said that.
It's pretty hard for some parents to do this because they're actually busy chasing the bag careless about the well being of their children.
If she's
Someone
comfortable
said,
and
"Could it be that the girl was bullied into it?" That did not look like bullying.
It did
And
she looked like she was
that,
having fun, like she was enjoying herself. And if she was actually raped, I think there would have probably been like a piece of cloth, something. But she was stuck naked and she was
don't use,
excited.
don't use R, just R word. We are very careful with what we say so
Okay,
that they don't. Everybody has been careful. And that you be radio girl, you can't put us for trouble now. Hey,
my bad.
okay. So just say the.
that's why I said that if that child could be comfortable enough, like I said earlier, to do a thing like that openly with those kids, then going on within the school to start with somebody
Let me ask you, the
that
school of
we are women. You see,
the
ladies,
school
we are.
of, where do you think the laxity is? The school or the home?
Both, especially
I
home.
don't.
Both,
You know,
but more from
I
home.
think
you
my
can't get.
I
You,
think
you,
from home. I think from home. And it's possible something is going on at home that maybe her parents don't know. And now maybe I don't even
you
know.
see,
But I think
girl is a border, but even in boarding house, I'm not sure the opportunity will present itself in the school. You see, in the home, you have there are times when even when we're growing up,
You
there
know
were
what it is?
when we were at home with our neighbors' children and we got up to no good.
Daddy Freeze. A school
Yeah.
brought you a trip. You disrespected the school. You left where the females are supposed to stay and went with the boys. What gave you that courage, first of all, to leave where your fellow girls are, to go to where the guys are? Who is
And
shaping
you read the story.
that umbrella called school? Who is giving you that kind of, that kind of encouragement, that kind of heart? We use the
Oh,
normal more.
Ada is something. Let
If
me
you
hear.
read the story, if you read the story, they said that she left her place to where the guys were
That's what I'm.
after 15 hours.
But the school took them on a trip. You should be afraid.
Were going around, making sure that they were safe and they were complete. So they all waited until light. I didn't attend anybody's school, but I think there's something they call
Okay.
dark hours or lights off hour. That was went to their room, to their apartment. So they had it figured out.
If I take you somewhere, right, that you've not been before, for example, and I ask you to stay here and wait for me while I go grab a snack, would you leave that place?
You are talking about these day children that are woke. You can't, as in right there under your nose, they'll be hopping up.
Enough.
So,
The
so you see,
happen.
one children I think the number was too big for the school to totally manage. Even out of the ones they said they did not catch, is because probably they did not catch.
What was she thinking? That nobody could tell? None of the boys would
Nobody
have
would have caught them if not for the fact that they filmed it.
Exactly.
Soon have gone home to disclose.
Started with them filming it. And that's if they had done. Now, do you know how many times they've done this without filming and they got away with it?
But what would give her the courage to do a thing like that on a trip? She was not afraid of the school management.
I don't think that's the case right here now.
At that age, they don't think
That's
of consequences.
and assuming.
They're just enjoying the moment.
Yes.
Now, as an adult, we do think of
there.
we think of the consequences. We think of repercussions. At that age, all they just want is have the fun, and that's it.
Now, let me ask you, do you think a mother should check her daughters to see if they are still intact?
It's an abuse, though.
I don't think it is. My mom was doing that.
Is it an abuse in the US or in Nigeria?
In the outside world, in the modern world, is an abuse.
In the modern world, of course, it's an abuse. And many of the things that the modern world considers abuse are the kind of things that they used to correct people back here. Let me take you, Nneka. With this as a precedent, do you think mothers should examine their daughters there? At least you know what it looks like when it's intact.
Well, I'm not going to do that to my child, honestly. But what I can say is I was discussing with my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. She just came from Nigeria. She has 3 girls. And I said something to her. children, or some of us, maybe we've even made mistakes that could have been avoided if we had a good relationship with our parents, especially as a mother. There's a way you can be close to your child and you discuss everything with your child. Before they make mistakes, they'll kind of come to get validation from you before they even act on anything. And that's the chance you have to say, hey, it's wrong, don't do that. Or maybe you guys would have like an open, honest conversation concerning whatever decision they're about to make. Or even, sometimes kids can be tricky. They wouldn't tell you exactly what they're thinking in their head, but if you're smart enough and you know your child, you should be able to catch some of those things or some of those changes in your child. So for me, I would work towards building that kind of relationship with my child, and more like I feel like that's a way of reassuring them that, hey, you can trust me to tell me anything. But I don't know if I want to always take my child in to say, hey, let's check if you are, I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you, Ada. Ada, and
Neka, it's because you are in a better country. I'll put it that way. You are in the saner climate. In a country like us, Nigeria, where even your brothers, some uncles are devils. I think it's right for mothers to do that. My mom was doing that. I think my mom was checking me up until my JSS3, until I was able to bat myself. Then she would always tell me in the morning, carry your legs up, let me see. And the very first time someone made an attempt, the caretaker, I recall vividly, the first thing that came to my head was, what will my mom do to me if she knows that someone has touched this place? Because she was always checking morning and night. I ran to my mom to tell her, mom, this brother was trying to shift my pants, and my dad carried his pistol. The guy ran from the compound, I think, for 2 months. So imagine my mom was not doing that. There would be no fear of who would catch me, who would know. It would just be me enjoying the brother's touch. Do you understand? But I had that fear of, what if my mom checks in the morning? What do I say? So I ran to her first. So I think parents should, because Nigeria is not
I
safe.
think we should start for Ada's mom at this stage. It did help.
Okay.
It might not work in the modern world, but knowing the kind of uncles and family members,
Neighbors, pastors,
neighbors, it was definitely something that at the end of the day would end up being useful.
But the question is, if the person checks and is no longer intact, what happens?
There's a conversation. A conversation will ensue. Auntie, what happened?
Exactly.
Where is this thing?
And if the person is not able to answer,
how will we not be able to answer?
No way. You definitely know which uncle touched that part.
If you ask me, I would say that, because even if the person doesn't tell you and it happens, and maybe you realize it has happened, it can be brought back.
No, but now you will now know the kind of child you have.
Exactly.
The people did not know the kind of child that they had. Do we all agree on that? Because for the mother to think, her child is innocent, they took her child for pregnancy test. Yes, children are innocent. The child is innocent only because they are minors, not because that level of experience is. I'm not sure Ada has that level of experience now. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure. Maybe Neka, after many years, Neka go don't turn Ogbologbo, and Samaria, this Samaria I don't trust them. But I don't get that. I feel vouch for him.
I don't have
And
I'm still a good girl.
you understand? So it's a bit.
I think we're also not talking about the other minor.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Doing the exact same thing we blamed our parents for. We are blaming the woman. Meanwhile,
somebody wrote something online, and when I read that thing, I agreed with him to an extent. The person said the person talked about the effects, the damage social media has done. And the person kind of threw back to childhood growing up, that a lot of us did some well things like that growing up, right? Whether it was real one or, I know like this a touching body, whichever one it is. But the difference is that we hadn't the courage. I'm using we. We doesn't mean me. I'm just saying, because growing up, and I've heard stories about kids that indulge in, stuff like that, but many of them hadn't the courage to post things like that online or even film it. They, not even to an extent of that gathering.
Have apparatus to film it. Let's even start from there. You don't remember that to film requires
the effects
some
coming in
apparatus.
A lot of people crucifying this same child, like we are saying, yeah, it's wrong. At least she had the nerves. Did worst. But because there wasn't social media to upload it, or they weren't bold enough to, they didn't even know what phone. There was no phone then.
I'm not a good child. I did not do that at that age. Bring the metal and we bite it and swear. But like I said, this Samaria I tear and this Neka I tear. Now Ada and me, now we gentle for this place this evening.
You're right, Pastor.
I mean,
anyway, guys, lovely hosting you today, and lovely. I enjoyed your perspective. You guys made a ton of sense. Thank you all so much.
I have to go. I'm going live now. Bye, sir.
The person, the minor, we need to. You see, one problem that we have in this Nigeria is we like to run away from the truth, and we have all these sensibilities and sensitivities. When the minor was doing what he was doing, you don't realize what the minor did. The minor did something that many majors don't know. Let's address it. We can't blame the minor because the minor is supposed to be under the tutelage of either the school or the parents. But that level of, how do I say, decay is plenty. We need to address that. It's not ordinary.
Daddy Freeze, and that's my point, right? Really, it's okay. People are saying she's dated like a pro. She must have been experienced and all of that. But the main question is, who made her experienced? We need to go back.
And the way the parents are going about it, you are never going to know, because the parents are thinking their child is, yes, the child is innocent.
Exactly.
But not so innocent, because she where did she learn it from?
Yeah, they have a problem.
And that they start with the whole narrative that
a lot of work to do.
Was a victim of parental neglect, in my opinion.
Correct.
And
I agree with you 100%.
Error. But aside from that, you can't say the other boys tried to do something to your child. That was the narrative that I heard that I found totally irritating.
So it's true. I think the parents, maybe, because I listened to the daily talk, I think maybe they were trying to be defensive or cover whatever it was.
And she was seeking help. I don't know what kind of help you would seek from people with such a thing.
Yeah.
At first, I listened to it, I felt for her as a mother. But when I saw it, I'm like, what is this woman talking about? Delete this thing and hide your face. You know,
yes, that was to me too. I was like, oh, in my opinion, no, now.
Yeah, I think they need to go back and start tracing where the.
Them now, say, guys, please, I don't want this kind of harassment. If I've ever offended you in any way, please don't use this as payback for me. Because you are really throwing any level of parental skill that they might have had. You are putting a big question mark on it. What children watch online, to be honest. Because
times these kids watch things on the YouTube and then they want to practice it with someone outside before they will even bring it to this level, you know. Because if you ask me, we all saw the styles. How come? How about the styles? How did you get to know about the styles? Even if you were being taught,
how did you get such deep knowledge? Not just get to
the person took time to watch something like that and gain knowledge on it, and that's why the person could practice it like that. You know, that one passed me.
That I would not doubt. It's a bit worrying, and we as a people have a lot of work to do in that regard. We need to all sit down with our children. We need to ask our children questions. We need to be there for our children, and we need to stop being hypocritical. We need to actually have, because the worst thing is, I'm sure they didn't use protection. Because where they're around, is that where they'll be having time for protection?
And now the person is getting active, ex-active. I mean, the least they can do, you know, impart more knowledge, teach them more about
absolutely. And that, what is your take?
And do HPV. They didn't do HPV vaccines, and the rest of them depending on the age, because the person is already active, and teach about protective measures. And then
who else agrees with that narrative?
Which one?
The parents need to take care of the child in teaching the child about these things. Let the child be properly schooled in that regard.
I agree. I think our parents not doing that. Once your child gets to, for me, I think that conversation should even start from an early age, very early. Even 7, you're already talking about those issues, not because those kind of things, not because you want them to go out and explore, you just want them to know. And I know here in the US, maybe once you start seeing your period, your parents take you to get the family planning shot.
If your child is, they put them on birth control.
Most schools they drop
family planning, birth control.
Most schools. When I went to SA most schools, if you go to the toilet, the bathroom, they drop Duncoms all over the places. You know.
Yeah, but
can't stop somebody who has already.
Can I quickly say something so I just go off and then focus on the radio because I'm a little bit distracted. I think our parents, they have a lot of work to do. Yes, I know I applauded my mom at some point. It's pretty sad that I'm bringing my mom out here. I never knew what menstruation was, what sex was from my mom. It was actually my dad that was teaching me what menstruation was and sex. So I think parents have a lot. Yeah, I'm serious, my dad. So I think parents, especially mothers, they have a lot of work to do.
The S word. It's not about what you got it. You're okay.
Okay. So the act.
It's more restricted than radio.
Yeah. The act, I learned it more from my dad. My dad was very cautious about putting me through, telling me the do's and don'ts. But my mom was coming from this religious aspect, saying it was sinful. It was more like a forbidden word at home. And I think, what?
Men are more protective when it comes to their female children.
Yeah, which I think is right. And I think mothers should jump on this as well. Because even when it happened, the first time it happened, I could not even confide in my mom. Yeah, it was that bad because I was already looking at it from the judgmental aspect. Oh, my mom would probably tell me I'm going to hell.
Learn to be less judgmental with regard.
Or my mom was going to beat me, or that. It's now that I am an adult that I sit down and have conversations like that with her. So I think mothers should jump on this because it starts from home. And pretty sad, when it first happened, I confided in my friends then than my parents. So it was my friends that actually took me to the hospital to run a test to be sure that I was safe, I was healthy. Now, if my friends were not sensible enough, I'll probably, be there, naive, ignorant, and probably gotten pregnant or something because it was unprotected. I was pretty young. So, I think parents, they have a whole lot of work to do when it comes to this.
I agree with you so much. Yeah.
100% you. Okay, guys. Here's where we end it tonight. I'm exhausted. We're gonna continue some other time. Thank you so much, Ada, for taking
Thank you,
your
Daddy
time.
Freeze.
Thank you, Samaria, and thank you, Ineka Spiff.
Thank you, Daddy
And
Freeze.
Thank
Georgia.
you.
Bye.
Take
All right,
care,
guys.
guys.
Okay.